Yeah, hi guys. How are you doing? Nami Ezago Ikezi. Please don't forget to share my video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow my Facebook page. Thank you. Yeah, I just come across this P2B video where you go Borno State go talk, and I can't listen to this speech, and it was so touching, and I couldn't even get tired of listening to this video because when you see somebody will get good ambition, good intention for the country, you go know. So now I can't dey ask, what have we done wrong to deserve this kind of leaders we would they get for Nigeria? Does it mean that good thing no fit come to Nigeria or waiting? Or this our leader they don't swear say no good person go rule for Nigeria? Because looking at this P2B speech, looking at plan wey im get for us, you go know say this man na pure clean heart. He wan come work for the country, he wan come develop the country because he know say we are suffering. He know say we dey go through a lot. He know wetin we dey pass through. I just wonder, are we going to allow this man to pass us by? Because these are prayer wey I just dey pray to God. God, please, no let this man pass us by. And our hope now na the judiciary, na there now our final hope now dey, because na them be, na there our faith dey, na them hold the faith of Nigerians now. Because any decision wey the judiciary go fit make concerning this P2B and Tinubu court case, that is where our faith lies. Make you know say if the country go good or e no go good, na the judiciary hand e dey. Because P2B talk say him go remove subsidy. Tinubu talk say him go remove subsidy. But I just want let everybody know say hunger dey come. The one wey be hungry dey come, wey be say e go scatter a lot of things, homes, companies, businesses. E go affect everywhere. P2B talk say him go comot subsidy for a reason. If you see the reason wey go make am comot subsidy, him go comot subsidy. Tangible reason wey be say if you look say removing this subsidy, e no go affect the people. E go maybe shake small thing, e go remove am. But if you look say removing this subsidy, e go affect the citizen, e go affect the way of living, e go affect the movement, transportation, everything. Im go leave am. Na wetin P2B talk. Now Tinubu talk say im go remove subsidy no matter any protest wey dem do. Anything wey dem like make dem do, no Jupiter can stop him from removing subsidy. And because I wan remind us say once subsidy is removed, fuel go skyrocket to 750 naira to 800 from the price wey e dey now. E go cost, fuel go cost. And you know say once fuel cost, transportation cost, everything begin put money. Because na transportation dem dey take move everything, business, food from urban area to rural area, that kind of thing. Move food from places to places. Na transportation dem dey take move them. So if transportation cost, e go affect everybody. and food price go cost. I just dey pray make we get this thing right and make the judiciary look at the citizen, make them forget about wetin dem go get for this case. I know say money, millions of naira, millions of dollars go down, they don spend for this issue. Make them look at the heart, the suffering of the citizen. See how the people are suffering, because we cannot continue like this. We no go continue like this. And I'm not doubting that Tinubu is not a good man. Tinubu is a nice man. He's a great man. But I think the time for him to give us that perfect leadership don't pass. We no go expect am make e dey now, make e people wey surround am come dey rule us. And people wey surround am are not good people. They are not people that you are going to entrust the wealth of Nigeria into, because these people are greedy people. People like Femi Gbajamiamila, them, Festus Keyamo, El-Rufai, Dele Alake, Ganduje, FFK, them. These are people who go surround Tinubu, who go gain in office, greedy men, greedy people. Now people go surround them. If they pay me say hunger they come now, it go affect up person, it go affect down person. We will be the citizen now, it go affect. We will be the poor people now, we the thing go affect. If they pay me say Yoruba people allow these politicians to use them. A lot of Yorubas allow them to use them. They use tribalism, use enter them. They believe say na so. Forget say we are working for the betterment of this country. We are not working on tribe. We are working, the obedient are focusing on competent. Look at Peter Obi. Peter Obi want to change this country, want to help us, want to save us from drowning. But the greediness of our politicians no go allow, because they no say if e enter all this corruption wey dem dey take dey make money, Peter Obi go stop am, him go block am. Yes, I know, because he stop am time wey dey Anambra State. At that Anambra time, Peter Obi be governor, and he stop all those things. We need to pray to God so that the court or the judiciary will make a better decision. Look at the way they are fighting him, Peter Obi, up and down. Then if you go this side, then go tackle him. If you go this side, you go UK. Somebody they use the identity. They want they do what the person don't know for UK there. Make you see the extent where APC they go to job say then tarnish Peter Obi image. What is all this? I just pray that the judiciary get this thing right, because food go cost. If it costs, that is where the poor will begin suffer. The poor will begin suffer. We need God intervention to make sure say the judiciary made the right choice, made the right decision. They made the right decision on this issue they are handling. Make I play this Peter Obi video, make you listen to am, because now the video I see make me do this small video, because this man he deserve award. He get good intention for us. Only just our corrupt politician no one gree am. Oya, listen to the video, make you hear wetin he talk. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Go and read the letter I wrote to World Bank and share my video. $82 million. Follow me on Facebook to build and YouTube channel. To provide 760
Thank you. Listen. God bless you. And he wrote it clear. I'm applying for this loan strictly to borrow for this investment to spur growth, economic growth for my country. That was 58 years ago. That facility is still standing. What he borrowed is $82 million. We now owe $120 billion without anything to show for it, because we consumed it. It was for consumption. There's nothing wrong with borrowing. Every country of the world borrows. No country. Every country of the world borrows. America is the biggest economy. They are owing over 100% of their GDP. The second biggest economy is China. They are owing about 60% of their GDP. The third one is Japan. Japan is owing 230% of their GDP. It can go on and show you. Even Netherlands, that had the highest sovereign wealth fund of 1.4 trillion, Your Excellency, is owing 50% of their GDP. So everybody borrows. The difference is what you use the borrowing to do. Where did you invest it? What did you create? Our own was for consumption. People are borrowing for investment. And I've gone from countries to countries everywhere to show that this is happening. China borrowed in 1990, 93% to 95% of Chinese people live under poverty. Today, it's less than 2%. India was a similar situation, under 5%. Vietnam was actually 96%. Today, they have less than 3%. So, ours that we have been doing people out of poverty. And just to illustrate to you why borrowing is different here and other countries. I was in Bangladesh in 2010. I've studied 31 countries, comparing them with Nigeria. In Bangladesh in 2010, Your Excellency, they had a GDP of $115 billion with a per capita of $747 per capita. And their debt was $45 billion, 36% of their GDP in 2010. Nigeria, as at then, had a GDP of $375 billion per capita of $2,250. So we are 3 times Vietnam in terms of per capita, which is a real measure of wealth. And our debt then was $30 billion, less than 10% of our GDP. Today, Vietnam GDP is $340 billion. They've grown by 3 times. Their per capita is $2,050. They've grown by 10 times. Their debt also increased to about $116 billion, which remains even less than 36% because it's now about 32% of their GDP, which means they borrowed more, they invested it. If you go to Vietnam today, the exports, the overseas diaspora fund, everything have increased. Today, Vietnam exports garments, $36 billion, twice what we earn from oil. Garments, they're not just garments. That's what they export. Not something that is sophisticated. And all small businesses, which we're not doing here. And in our situation, our GDP today is about $400 billion. Our per capita, which is a real measure of wealth, is now 1,980, call it 2,000. So we've actually lost about 11% of what we were in 2010. And our debt have gone from $30 billion to $120 billion. So we borrowed about $100 billion, which nobody can explain what was invested. And when, as they say, it's for capital project. If you borrow money and it didn't impact on your GDP, it didn't impact on your capital, you consumed it. That is the crisis we face as a nation. The consequence is that our debt servicing now is over 90% of our income. In 2001, first 5 months of 2001, Your Excellency, Nigeria as a country made $1,847 billion naira. We use $1,802 to service debts. 98%, only 45 remaining for a country of 200 million people. And we're borrowing more. We said last year our budget was 13.5 trillion. We are going to borrow only 5 trillion. We borrowed 7. This year, our budget plus subsidy and everything will be hitting about 20. They said they are going to borrow only about 6. Your Excellency, we're not going to borrow less than 10. And that is the crisis of us. And what are we even borrowing? With these monies, we are now issuing foreign bonds of 2040, 2045, 2060, when we are no longer going to be here. And our children, in the past 1 year, Nigeria has not put 1 naira in the sinking fund. Not 1 naira. So even when you are servicing debt, you're supposed to be saving money to pay the debt. When it matures, we are not putting money there. The crisis is that when we are dead, our children will have nowhere because we've eaten their future. And nobody is talking about that. And we need to move this country in. And there's nothing wrong in this country. It's a country that can be changed. Look at something like Taraba. Look at what is happening all over the world. Today, we are struggling with oil, sharing of oil money. Who is doing that? Even in America, that is the biggest country in the world, Texas, that is producing several more oil than we are producing. The biggest state in America is California. And what does California do? Texas is not even number 1. They're not number 2. They're number 3. Texas GDP today is 3.4 trillion. 8 times Nigerian GDP. They have no oil. What they're exporting is agriculture and knowledge. Agricultural materials and knowledge. That's all that is making them that thick. When we are here fighting over a diminishing access that has since expired, all you didn't say yet Venezuela. Venezuela have 10 times more oil than Nigerian deposits, and yet they collapse. And we're here fighting about oil. No country is talking about oil today. Vietnam, countries and nations have ever. Look at the vast land I saw when we are alive here today. I told the people in Niger, you have 76.3 square kilometers of land in Niger State. Your Excellency, they can't feed themselves. They can't feed Nigeria. They don't export anything. The other one is natural. When you deal with natural one, because people have means of livelihood, you deal with support to your security agencies, which is renewable every year. And with this, you generate more money. Every day, Your Excellency, we say in this country that we don't have revenue. We don't have revenue. Even if our government said the revenue to GDP is too low, it has to be low. Because you have millions of people who are not doing anything. The more your people are doing something, the more your economy is productive, the more revenue you generate. You can't generate revenue from people who are not doing anything. It's a simple thing. It's been done everywhere in the world, and it's very easy, Your Excellency. It's not a question. If you go, and where do you generate the most revenue? In your youth, the young ones, in their productive age. You have to invest in them. And what do they need? They need access to capital and training. They have the idea. They can change the world. It's not a sophisticated thing. Nigerian youths are talented. All they need is support. And it has to be government-determined support. It's happening in China. If you go to Indonesia, they have a particular number of their loans that go to small businesses. What changes the country is small corporations. Nothing by saying it the way we are saying it here. There's no money. They'll tell you, oh, every day you have government support to small businesses. It's not true. The only way you will know it's not true is that go and check the total lending of all the banks. I've shared 2 banks. It's about 30 trillion. Out of which less than 5% go to small businesses. It cannot happen. In Indonesia is written 25% of all their loans go to small businesses. China is 20, they just increased it to 30. The consequence is that if you go to these 2 countries, if you go to Indonesia, 98% of the companies are small businesses. In fact, Indonesia, a country of about 250 million persons, their total employment is 140. Small businesses created 130 million jobs. Only 10 million is created by other people. In Indonesia, they even have Ministry of Small Businesses to support it. In China, as China is, China today, all their productivity, all their GDP is about 60-65% for small businesses. The total employment in China is 800 million. Small businesses provide 60% of that, which is 540 million. So you must support this engine. It is critical. We're not doing that. What we are doing here is celebration, sharing. Nigeria, only thing Nigeria has is sharing formula. Nobody talks anything. All that I came to ask you people is that we need to move this country from sharing formula to production formula. It cannot continue. We must move from consumption to creating wealth. Other countries have done it for the future of our children. It is critical. It is not something anybody can tell. They can tell you, oh, it's sophisticated. No. I've gone from one country to the other, studying. I just came back from Morocco recently, not up to a month ago. Morocco exported last year 40-something billion worth of exports. Not oil. Agricultural products, 8 billion. Morocco. Vehicles, car manufacturing, 10 billion. I can go on. Tourism, 3-point-something billion. That's what they had last year in Morocco. Morocco is just here. So it's not as if this thing, you ask about power generation. This is the only country where to switch on your light, everybody knows how much power is being produced. Everybody knows whether the national grid has failed or whether every other country just put light on and off. Here you must know everything. You must even be calling from government as you're calling the people who are in charge of the power company. No other country does that. Egypt borrowed only 6 billion euros, call it 10 billion naira. And within 2015 and today, Egypt have doubled their power generation from 26,000 megawatts to 54,000 megawatts. Egypt, they're not far. You go to, so we are number one biggest economy in Africa. We generate 4,000 megawatts. If we are able to get it. Number two biggest economy is South Africa. They generate 54,000. Egypt is number 3. It generates between 54 and 55. But the giant generates 4. That's the crisis. And they give you all sorts of excuse. Yesterday, there's nothing in power generation. There's nothing in power distribution. It's very easy. Anybody who tells you any story is this. Excellency, let me conclude because he's introduced me. I was governor of a state. My dear people, today God has given you position where you're in authority, where you're delegates. You won't be there forever.